Oh, I think I'm here. Sorry, guys. I've been having problems actually logging in. Our internet's been a real nightmare today, so I do apologise. I think that's what the problem is. I think I'm here now. If you can, if anyone can see this, can you just say hello and let me know you can hear me? These things always frighten me because I'm never sure that I'm actually here or not. Hello, is anybody there? Hi, Olis. Hi. Oh, yes, at last. Okay, so I know that we're here. Yay! Hello! Hi, everyone. Hi, Olis. Hi, Diane. And Jen. Hello. This is really exciting because I'm using some new software, which my lovely friend Angie tipped me off to. Um, so it means that we can get all techie and stuff and do this kind of cool live thing. And then I've got my overhead set up, so we'll be able to just go straight onto the project. So that's really cool. Before I start, I must have a glass of water because I am so warm. Excuse me. It's just suddenly, I was freezing earlier and it suddenly got like really warm in the evening sun. I've had to block it all out from the window and everything. Anyway, hi Claire. Hi Myrta from Argentina. Wow. Wow. What time is it in Argentina? I wish I knew some. I don't even know what language you speak in Argentina, so I wish I could say it in Argentinian. I need to have my iPad so I can actually Google Translate. But hello, and I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining me. Elaine Park is here as well. So quite a few of you here. So I'm really pleased because I wasn't sure about the time. Hi Nelly. I didn't know about the time, so I kind of thought, well, hopefully 7 o'clock's kind of a good time. It's 2 o'clock in the States, 8 o'clock in Europe is only bad for the Australians, I think. So Sheila, hi. Zelly's here. Oh, Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie. I miss you. Right, okay. So, I'm here. I'm going to attempt to make a project that was a little bit better than the other night. I've been a little bit more organised, but I have to warn you that I got up this morning. I'm such an early riser. I was in work at 6, but I had a migraine. I woke up with it, and I kind of thought it was going to go off. Anyway, it didn't. So let me just say hello to small people. Sorry, I keep getting sidetracked now. This is bad having the comments. Sabrina, hi. Fiona, hi. Fiona, hi. Hope you're keeping well. She's just on the other side of town to me. She's local to me, so that's cool. Stephanie misses me too. And Viv, hello. So thanks for joining me, everybody. It's always really scary when you do this because you don't know whether you're just going to be sat here talking to yourself. How embarrassing would that be? But you know, it's nothing new for me really. But yeah, so I had a migraine today, so I kind of like just did a couple of hours work, and at 8 a.m. I was just like, no, I need to go home. I've got to go sleep this off. So I literally kind of packed all my gear up. So I was praying I didn't get stopped by the police because I thought, my God, they'll wonder what the hell I'm doing with all these cameras and stuff in, well, not cameras, but I've brought all my big pro studio lights home because the light's really bad in here. So, hi, Catherine. You never going to happen. Hinny. I think that's Scottish. I don't know. Hinny. I don't know what that means. Does that just mean honey? Is that like a Scottish phrase? Let me know, Sheila, what that actually means. Hiney. I think of hiney as like, your butt. But, move your hiney. That's. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Anyway, can you tell a bit? But I'm a little bit weird when I've had a migraine because my meds send me a little bit strange. So just a word of warning, but I don't know what my colouring is going to be like. It's taken me all afternoon to set this. Well, it hasn't actually, but I did get a couple of hours sleep this morning, and the migraine's gone, but it kind of like leaves me with after effects. So who knows what might happen. Henny, yeah, Henny, Sheila, thank you. 310 for Murta. Is that in Argentina? That's in Argentina, isn't it? So that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, nice to see you all. So because I have had a migraine, I was going to do something like mixed media-ish, and then I kind of thought, no, I kind of didn't feel like it, if I'm honest. And I just thought I just wasn't really in the zone today. So I thought we'd do a little Winnie. So I kind of thought, let's do a nice little clean and simple card. So I am going to do some more colouring. You can tell it's so long since I've done any proper colouring. But today what I'm using, I actually have all of my craft stuff here now. So after the other day, I brought it all home with me to make sure that it was here. So I am going to flick this off my ugly mug, and let's just, this is where it gets really whizzy. Look what I'm about to do. Okay, how cool is that? So today I am going to use the Zig Clean colour markers. Now, confession time again, I haven't really used these a huge amount. I've had these for, well, actually I haven't had this particular set because I did lose them in the fire, but I have had a set of these for like probably decades, but at least 10 years from when I used to actually be a brand ambassador for Zig on Create and Craft, and we never had these on the TV shows for some reason. I don't know why, and so I never really got to use them very much. And to be honest, at the time I don't think I really realised how cool they were, so I never used to use them very much. But this is what I'm going to use today. Annette Dawson, ooh, suffer migraines too. I call the after effects for a few days my jellyhead. Yeah, me too. And it makes me like really clumsy and just very slow. Everything that I do is very slow. Oh, Lou's here. Lou Sims is here, everyone. Hi, Lou. That isn't what I usually call her, but I'll be nice to her today. So yeah, we're going to use these, and there's different ways of using them. If you've seen Helen, who used to work for Zig, but I don't think she does anymore, but she still represents them and she still uses them. She does amazing stuff with these. You can get some really amazing blending effects. Let me get a bit of, I'm already going off on a tangent. This is what I do. I can't stay, I can't stay on script. Let me get some card. Look. Okay, so if you've never used them before, so like I say, these are from Zig, which is part of the Kuretake company, Japanese company, make amazing products. You can never doubt anything that Kuretake make or anything Zig. It will always be awesome. Sorry, I'm just having another drink of water because I'm also dehydrated, which a lot of you will understand. So don't ever, I'm not looking for sympathy, by the way. I'm just explaining if I do go a bit weird, that's why. Yeah, so really, really great quality items made in Japan. Japan has some of the best pens ever. And that's kind of like why manga is so popular out in Japan and stuff, because they just have the best quality. So you can see on here, look, the actual tip of these. If I just put them on my hand, you'll see how big they are. If I go, oh, terrible nails, bear with me. But you can see how fine that tip is. I'm doing that because I want you to see how fine it is and how tiny it is. Sheila, I think with everyone in isolation, we're all feeling a little strange. I think that's true. That's very true. So yeah, really fine, and these, because they're such a fine tip, they're really awesome for colouring with. But the thing that I really love is that these are actually a flexible tip as well. Don't know if you can see that. I can't get my camera any closer. I'm actually zoomed in as much as I can at the moment, but it does actually squash down. Can you see that squash in there? You can, can't you? So they're nice and flexible, but then also look at how fine that line is that you can achieve. So you can go really fine, or you can get a nice thick broad line as well. Look. Now the other great thing is that these are actually water soluble. So you do, I have to say, you do need to work quite quickly with them. And if you're not a confident colorist, again, I would say use them on a palette off your work. Don't go direct to paper unless you're really confident in using them. Because, you know, you kind of set yourself up a bit if you're not great and you just go straight on. Look, like there, look, they've dried. It's warm in here at the minute, so they're already drying. But look what happens if I actually use a water brush. Look how cool that is. So, you know, they just pick that colour up there, and then look at that smooth blend that you're going to get. Let me just hold that up a bit for you. And it is literally what you're seeing is what I'm seeing here. This colour is a little bit, you're seeing it a little bit blue, whereas it's pinker. Let me just adjust the colour on here just because I am, and I'm really flash. Just hang on a second. I can just make that look a little bit pinkier. I think that's a little bit more. Maybe that works a little bit. Right, let's go with that. I think that's more of a reflection. Okay, a true reflection of what that colour is actually like. Because it is coming out quite, that's better. It's a lot more pinky. Okay, so the other thing that you can do is, I've got a pale one. In fact, no, let me just pick a different colour. So that's pale pink. Let me go with a nice yellow. So this is a trick I used to do all the time, and Zig pens are particularly great for doing this. They kind of almost invented this technique, if you like. So I'm just going to touch the base of this tip with this pink, and this is actually light carmine and just plain yellow, and I'm just actually colorizing the very tip of this yellow pen. And I know a lot of you have already seen this, but there's always people that haven't. So yellow and red. In fact, I haven't done that very well, bear with me. Let me pick a better colour, because pink is never going to work as well as a really nice red will. Carmine red, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to put a bit more on. So you can see that, and you would normally think, oh my goodness, you've wasted your pen. But not with these, because look what actually happens. So you're going to start colouring with red, and then look what happens. It just blends out, and you can kind of just come and drag that back in a bit. But that's already dried, and this is actually on watercolour paper. So you get that really smooth transitional blend, which is just lovely. And then if I'm really quick and I actually went back in there with a bit more water, probably make it bleed out a bit more again. But look how little you actually need and how far these go as well. They really are absolutely gorgeous. And if I just put a bit on there, it's a different colour. But because I've bled that out and got water in there, look, you can actually start to really blend your colour right out. So these are a pen that I would say you really should play around with them if you've got them. I bet these are one that you've got in your cupboards at home that a lot of you don't use very much. I know, Jen, you like them. Hi, Dawny. What I'm trying to see some of the questions here. Let me see. I can drag your questions on here. So Sheila, what paper do you use? So what I'm actually using right now is, and I actually have this, I get asked this so many times, and for once I can actually show you what this particular paper is. So the one I'm using, let me move that water before I spill it everywhere. Oops. This is what I'm actually using. Goldline Watercolour Studio Pad, 100 sheets, and this is cold pressed. And usually when it's cold pressed, it's got more of a texture on the paper. So it gives you this, if you can see there, it gives you that kind of like textured effect when it's cold pressed. If you see a paper that's hot pressed, what that actually means is that it's really smooth. So look, this is the size of this pack, and this pack is a good, I even have a ruler for once, my goodness, look. This pack is 1.25 inches thick, and it has 100 sheets. And these usually, if you shop around, you can usually get a pack of this for about £15 or $20-ish. And that might sound like a lot of money, but it isn't for 100 sheets of watercolour paper. It's amazing. And it's 9.5 by 12.5, as you can see. So if you're going to print on it, because you can print on this, especially if you've got a Canon printer, or one that you're going to need one that goes up to, I mean, this is 200 gram, so it's not too bad. But if you've got one that you put thick card through, it's going to go through and it'll be fine. That's what Sheila was asking. What else? We've got other people on here that are offering advice as well, which is great. Zelly says any cold press works for zigs. What else? Not a hot press. I do use hot press, and I've got hot press here, and hot press is what I'm actually going to use. And for hot press, I use Bockingford, which we do actually have on the website. Obviously you can get it elsewhere as well, but we do actually stock it on the website. And this is 20 sheets. I can't remember how much it is, I'm sorry, but you will find it on the Polka Doodles website. So I just, because this is my favourite paper, this and the Goldline, because sometimes I want something that's got more texture. Sometimes I want it, if I'm doing a character, I want it really smooth, which is what we're going to do tonight. But if I'm doing something more mixed media, I quite often just want that really nice watercolour-y texture. So, you know, you use what you like at the end of the day. Anything watercolour should work equally well with hot or cold press. It shouldn't make a difference, because it's about the quality of the materials that you use rather than, I mean, obviously the paper matters, but if it's a watercolour product, it should work on either, so it shouldn't make any difference. It's just about the texture that you actually get and the effect. Cold press, so the textured paper, that actually bleeds more. It's got a more open weave usually, and that, what that means is that it'll absorb more water more quickly, and maybe not more, but it'll, the actual grains in the paper are further apart. It's got more air between the grains, so it means that because it's a looser weave, because paper is woven, you know, it's all pressed together. That's why it's called hot and cold press. It's pressed together like one way, and then it goes another way, and it's done like that over lots of different layers. And basically hot pressed is tighter pressed than cold pressed, so the more air and space that's between those paper fibres, the more water it's going to absorb more quickly. It's not so much that it absorbs more, it just spreads more quickly. I hope that explains that. It's I don't want to get too technical and everything, but that's basically what it is. So that's basically what we're going to do. So what else is there? Yeah, Stephanie's saying Bristol works amazingly with zigs. Yes, it does. I've got a load of that here as well. 100 sheets, 200 gram printable, amazing value for money. Yes, it is amazing value for money. So what I'm going to do is, as I said the other night, this afternoon, because I've not used my clean colours for a long time, I actually already had a colour chart, but I don't know where it's gone. So I actually sat and did another one this afternoon again, because as I said the other night, I never start colouring. I just can't physically start colouring without a chart. This is a mess. It doesn't matter. It's my chart, nobody else's. But it enables me to actually see the colours for what they really are. These colours still aren't quite coming out right. This is a really kind of really bright pink, more like a kind of not a hot pink, but kind of a lipsticky pink. Some of the pale colours on here aren't quite coming out very well. These are looking quite blue, and actually it's a much rosier pink, a much pink. But you're getting an idea of all the colours in here anyway. Anyway, I'm not here to sell Sigma, because it's just I want to kind of explain, if you've not seen them before, why I'm using them and why it's a product that you might want to actually get in your stash if you've not used them before. I'm going to try and be really tidy with what I'm doing, but you know what I'm like. So I'm going to put that red away before I go wrong with it, because I know what will happen. So I thought what we would do is we'd do a little, because it's spring, we'd do a little Easter spring card here. So we've got little Winnie. Oops, there we go. So this is Winnie Easter Bunny. She's one of my favourite images of Winnie. I just love her to bits. This is actually also available as a stamp, I think. If you're a stamper, you need to check out the website, because we have loads of stamps that a lot of the Digi images we release them in Digi, and we kind of almost test them, and then, because we release a lot of digital artwork, but what we can't always do is release every single Digi as a stamp. So what we're actually doing is we now kind of road test them on Digi, and so what we do is we kind of pick the ones that are the really great sellers, and we give them to our retail stockists as stamps, because I know that there's still a lot of you out there that just love stamping, and you still prefer to have a stamp over a Digi. And there's two different types of crafter. There's those that do Digi and those that do stamps, and actually there's three, because there's people that do both as well, which is great. And so some of the stamps that we have, normally we don't stock, and we only sell those through our stockists, which is worldwide now. So you can get polka doodles all around the world, from the UK to the Philippines and Australia and Japan and Argentina and Peru and everywhere. So we are literally everywhere now, which is just amazing. And so some of the stamps, because of coronavirus, we decided that we would release only a small batch. We've got very small quantities of a lot of stamps that were actually supposed to be released into our retail stores, or have been released into retail. So you need to go and actually have a look in the store, because we've loaded all of those this week, and there's lots of Winnies. So go and make sure that you have a look if you're a stamper and you've been waiting for things to come in stock. If the lady that messaged me this week about the graduation Winnie is here, I don't know if she is, or if she actually watches this, we do have the graduation Winnie as a stamp, but it's actually currently sold out. But you might be able to find it online somewhere. But that's actually a stamp that was through our retail stockists. And we always encourage you to go to your retail stockists, but kind of right now, slightly different time, without doing it to sell you, because that's not what this is about. But I'm saying to you now that those stamps that are on that website may not be there when all the shops reopen again, because we might withdraw them, because I'm very much about supporting our retailers. So anyway, let's get on. So I don't want to waffle too much. But basically I'm saying, you know, get them while you see them, because there aren't many and they might not be there long. So let's make a start. At least we can see what I'm doing this time. The other night was a little bit, I didn't realise how zoomed out I was. Right, okay, so I am going to start here with my flesh colour. So where is that? Now, this is the other reason, again, that I've said about pale pink and light pink. Right, I don't want light pink, that's for sure. Flesh, where's that? Beige. This must be flesh. Oatmeal. Bear with me. Oh, don't say I've lost one already. No. This is why you need to do your swatches, oatmeal, dark oatmeal, beige, because light grey. I think I've lost a pen already. Oh no, oh it's still in there. Panic over, I've got it. Didn't take me out of the thing. Okay, so in fact, what I'm going to do, normally I would colour her face first, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to actually do her little outfit first, because I'm a bit heavy-handed today. I did have a practice earlier and I'm a little bit heavy-handed. So I'm going to colour her outfit first. So I'm going to get the light blue, which looks like an aqua turquoisey colour, and it is when you actually use it like this. So I've got this bit of scrap here, and this is actually just the back of one of my stamps, and I'm going to use it as a palette. Okay, so I'm just going to scribble some colour on there, and I'm going to put quite a bit on because I am going to use quite a bit. And I've got a really fine brush again. This is the same brush I was using the other night, so that really fine one again. And if you're wanting to know the size, it's a number 3. It's a 3 0, number 3, and it's a 0. It's quite a nice brush, this, because it's triangular. This is an Amazon one. And then I've also got my water brush here. If I decide to use it, I don't know whether I will or I won't. I'm going to have a go. It's quite a chunky nib, and this particular brush gets quite wet, but I'm going to try and give it a go. And what I'm going to do is just rip off a bit of kitchen roll so that I've got something that I can dab onto. Oh, is it raining? Oh. Oh, is Lou going to link to all the Winnie stamps for me? Thank you, Lou. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that. I could have done that. But it's one task too many right now. Okay, so we've got the blue. And then I'm going to use that flesh. See, I keep picking up the wrong colour. I'm trying not to. So we've got the flesh. Now you won't be able to even see this, but it is there. It's very, very pale. So I'm going to colour her little outfit. Gosh, I've been on half an hour. I haven't even done anything yet. Sorry. I do waffle, I know. Okay. So I am not squeezing this pen at all. I'm just literally, and I'll tell you now, I'm not going to be able to stain the lines because, like I said, I get clumsy when I've had migraine pills. So it's, you know, I am going to be probably a bit rough and ready with this colouring, but I am here. So I'm just going to colour this round, and this is what, these particular pens work great with your water brush because it just blends it out perfectly. So just doing that like that. Oops. Look how blended that is already. It's getting a bit washed out. I think it's a bit bright in here maybe. But I don't want to turn one of the lights off because it's getting dark. So I'm just going to go back in and add a little bit more just around the edge and just bleed that out again. And this is the thing, is less is more. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. If I had £1 for every time I've said that over the years, my goodness. And I kind of want it to be very pale. I don't really want it to, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, we want it to look like a little cute white bunny. So I'm only going to colour, you know, very quickly in some areas, and I'm just dabbing it in really. I don't really want a huge amount of colour in. And we can always go direct to paper if we want to afterwards and add a bit more if we want. So, you know, I would rather do that. I'd rather go back than actually add way too much. Now, I'm going to actually pick up some of the flesh, and I've not actually changed my brush, washed my brush rather. And now that's going to pick up, I'm sort of mixing in between the blue and the flesh here. So you can't see it because it's such pale colour and because I've washed it out. You see, just see there. So I'm picking up right in the middle. So I'm mixing the two colours together. And blue and, I mean, the flesh colour is like a very, very pale, it's the colour it says on the tin really. You know, like a creamy, very soft creamy brown colour. And blue, and it's kind of got a bit of yellow in it. So it kind of goes, like, when you mix it with the blue, it goes to like a very pale, soft vintagey brown. And the nearest colour I can think of that it reminds me of is Vintage Photo in your Distress Inks. Now I'm going to add a bit more of this. So that's a bit more of the flesh. And I'm just going to add a little. But not too much. If you've got any questions, just put them in the side thing for me. I can see them all, so I'm going to try and... So Elaine says they changed the name of flesh, did they? What did they change it to? I didn't realise they changed it. I haven't had these that long, so I'm surprised. Okay, so I'm going to actually now grab my flesh and I'm just going to go and add some darker colour in. So I'm going to use this as like a shadow. Like I say, it's kind of showing up a lot brighter on this camera. But if I can just, let me see if I can just take down the temperature a bit, the brightness a little bit. I think that's probably about, that's actually about right of where it is. Okay. Let me just play around just a second, guys. I think that's a bit better. That's quite close to what I'm actually seeing in front of me. A light beige or something like that. Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, but it would make sense actually that that kind of is probably what it was. So I'm just going to drag a little bit of that up. She's got like a little zip here on the front of her costume. So I'm just going to drag a little bit of that up. And then under her little hoodie bit of her onesie. And we're just going to blend this up a bit. Now, because I've already pulled that colour in with the blue and mixed that into some other places, now that I add this in, it kind of all just works together. And so it's allowing me to get that definition. And it's quite green. So, you know, it is quite yellowy, that colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find my oatmeal. There you go. So oatmeal is this colour. So far we've used this, and you can see it is quite it's quite peachy. So it's on the yellower tone. It's quite peachy. It's a little bit more peachy than it's showing there. This is oatmeal that I'm going to use next, which again that's looking a little bit yellowy there as well. And we used the light blue here. Okay, so they're the three colours that I'm using. And I do have those of you that have seen me colour for a lot of years, you'll know that I do have a rule about colour. It's just a self-inflicted rule. And my self-inflicted rule is that I try not to use, in the first instance, when I first start colouring, I try not to go for more than 3 colours. So kind of have in my head, so I'm just kind of, she's got her little belly here sticking out, so I'm just kind of like, she'd have a little shadow down there, so I'm just kind of picking that up a little bit. I'm going to put, she's got little knobbly knee bits here where her leg, the legs are a bit loose on her, and there's a few little folds in her legs, and I'm just going to add some bits here. So rather than using a grey, I'm actually using that same colour to add the shadow, and then we'll go in here and we'll do that round here as well. And because it's so fine, because this tip is so fine, you can get right into all the fine detail. And I'm just feathering, because I don't want it to, I don't want to go really heavy-handed, and I have a habit of doing that. So where her ears are here, I'm just going to try and show you here. See here where her ears are. Oops. Oh, I nearly spoiled it then. In here. Can you see if I just do this? I'll blend that out in a sec. But look how that then instantly brings her ears forward. So it immediately makes her head look like it's round. Let me show you here. Oh, doing this in the air. That's what 11 years of being on TV does. So you need to kind of do like a bit of a triangle. And maybe a little bit more there. Yeah? So can you see that? So at the moment it doesn't particularly work because I need to blend it out a little bit, but I'll blend it in a second. So I'm just going to take that very fine line around the outside edge as well. So I'm not colouring. What I'm doing is I'm just dragging a line. And when if you ever see people do distress colouring, and hopefully I'm going to see if I can do that next week. I love distress colouring. I'm just going to do a bit around her ear, and I'm going to go into that area there in her ear, because we're kind of using this pen as a shadow. So she's got where her ear flops down there. We'll put some in there. Now I've got that on my palette here, so I'm going to actually use my water brush now, and what I've already put on will already be dry, but it's okay because I only added a tiny bit. And what I can do now is I can actually just blend this out with my brush instead. So I'm just picking a little bit of colour up and then just adding that so it kind of blends up to the edge. And again, like, I'm really being careful with my water because I totally overdid the water thing the other night. So I'm not pressing at all, and I'm not adding any extra water at all. Is everyone still there, or have you all fallen asleep? From flesh to skin. Angie, hello. How are you doing? Angie Hunt is in the house. Angie Hunt is a very, very good friend of mine. She gets me in a lot of trouble. But Angie is the owner of LDRS Creative, Little Darlings Rubber Stamps. So everybody say hi to Angie. And she's got a great Facebook Live over on her page as well. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I believe she did it. I don't know if she did it yesterday. I can't remember now. So can you see this? It's looking a little bit green on your screen, but it isn't on mine. It's actually looking very vintagey And like I say, it's got that vintage photo kind of feel to it. Hopefully you'll see that at the end. So what I'm going to just do, I'm kind of like getting rid, so you can see I'm actually getting rid of all that blue and it's kind of disappearing, but that's okay because we can go back and add a little bit more if we want to, because I am losing it just a little bit, but that's okay. So let me just put a bit more blue on my palette here. How do you stop your water brush from going fuzzy? What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know who that is because your name's not coming up for me, so sorry. Not quite sure what you mean about going fuzzy. Do you mean the brush hairs going fuzzy? I do have a couple that have gone fuzzy, but that's through my neglect. Or do you mean just taking too much water? Not quite sure what you mean by fuzzy. Can you just, whoever that is that left that comment, can you just explain a little bit more for me and I'll try and answer that for you. So I'm just going back in with a little bit more blue. Okay, and that's looking really sweet. So as I say, it looks green there, but it isn't in real life. It's not green at all. She looks kind of vintagey brown. The brush tip. Yeah, I know the brush tip, but I don't understand what you mean by fuzzy exactly. What kind of... I'm not quite sure what you mean. Sorry if I'm being thick. So I have just picked up, sorry I forgot to say, I'm going to use, I'd picked up light pink, but that's a very bluey pink. So I'm going to use light carmine instead, which is more of a rosy pink. It's more on the red side. So I'm just brushing some of that into her ears. And this is where, you know, adding all these little details now is where it sort of starts to come to life. And, you know, where you've got a shadow in that ear, you know, you can go quite heavy in there if you wanted to. Let's put a bit more in. Don't want to go too much, but don't forget, because these are water-based as well, they do dry lighter. Okay, but I quite like that little colour there. So we're going to go with that colour, and then now I am going to go to her face. So we're going to use this flesh again on the face. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use my water brush, I think. Yeah, I'm going to use the water brush first. And what you could do now, right now, this is what I didn't do the other night. It's a good idea to actually dry this. Just give this a little blast and just dry this off now. And you know how it starts to curl? Look, it's starting to curl. We'll flip it over. If it starts to curl, spritz on the back with some water. And it will flatten back down, because because you've wet the paper fibres on one side, when it dries those paper fibres shrink, and that's what makes it actually curl. So what you need to do is actually do that on the opposite side as well, and it'll get rid of that curl for you. Got a curl too much on that side now. Just go back and it's actually flattening it back down again. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up some of that light flesh, and so this time I kind of want a bit more water in there, so I'm going to work quite quickly so that I get plenty of colour down. And I am in between, although I've got water in my brush pen, I am also cleaning my brush off in a glass of water as well. I've got a glass here, look, and I am actually cleaning this off if I put that there, you might be able to see when I actually do that. And it's just, if I wanted a little bit more water, because it is less controlled coming out of the pen, out of the brush pen. If I'm doing something, gosh, I'm so warm. I've got the window open. I think I'm having a summer moment. Yeah, because I want a little bit more, but I want it to blend. I still want that control. This is where I went wrong the other night. So just literally doing that with, so using my water brush pen as a paintbrush as well. So if I just hold that up for you, can you see it? And I didn't really colour it all in the centre. I've just literally bled that out. And the way that you stop yourself getting you know that you get that tide mark with watercolours, the way you stop yourself doing that is you actually need to do a wash over that whole area, and that will stop that tide mark. And then I'm just going to blast that off again just to dry that face area. Now it's up to you how far you want to go with that. You know, I know some of you would be quite happy with that. I actually like to get a lot more definition in there than that. But what I want to do first is I'm going to do her hair. So because this is quite vintagey looking, I'm going to carry on with that oatmeal, and I'm just going to literally do some flicks into her hair. I don't want it to be really dark, but we need to get some definition going. Now, we all have our own way of colouring. There's no right, there's no wrong. I know a lot of you will be doing Alice's classes, which are great if you kind of like that kind of look. You know, it's everybody to their own. So I need a darker colour. So I'm going to go with a beige, because that actually matches that oatmeal. So I'm just going to, this is where what happens. I end up putting my arm in my palette. I do it every single time I do this. So because she's got a hat on, I've turned my work around, and then there's like where her hair strand goes here, there's a line under here, and that's where you're going to put the shadow, because that's coming out in front, and this darker area is coming out from underneath her hat. And same here. So we want some shading coming out from underneath these flowers. And equally, I'm going to come back the same way from underneath this flower here, or this side of the same flower. But I'm leaving gaps in the hair. So I don't want to colour it all in. Just want to get a bit of a highlight going on. There's not a lot of hair on this one, so it's quite a good one to colour if you're not very confident. And these are perfect for doing the hair. So you can see how her hair is starting to come to life now. So you don't need to, you know, it's not a science. And I find people just get into such a twist of colouring. So I'm going to dark oatmeal now. So that's 3 colours that blend really well, and I'm just going to add these in as little shadow areas. Just a tiny little bit. But you should never, you know, don't, as crafters, we're really bad at criticising ourselves. You know, nothing we do is ever good enough, and we always, I think it's because with art, it's very subjective, and you know, we all see other people's work and we all think everybody else's is so much better than ours, and so we're very, very beige. Love the way you say beige, Lou. Why? How do I say beige? It's beige. Am I supposed to say beige? Beige. I don't know. Like the diners look like split end on hair fibres, finally. I'm gonna have to go back through some of these comments, sorry. We were talking about how do you stop your water brush from going fuzzy? Like the fibres look like split ends on hair. Right, okay. Yes, I know what you mean. And I do actually have some like that. Oh, where are they? I might not have brought them with me. In fact, hang on. I might have. No, haven't. Oh, hang on, I've got one. I know what you're talking about. This is what I thought you meant. I think, is this... Oh, let me just let it focus a second. Is that what you're talking about, Sheila? Hairs of the brush are not smooth. Yeah, this is not smooth. Can you... I'm trying to get you to see. Okay. These hairs have been really... Oh, sorry. Going off. These hairs have been really rough with this brush. It's had its fair use. And what causes that is that it's just you being really heavy-handed. So usually it's when you scrub in like that. So when you've been scrubbing or you've been too heavy-handed, and it's just basically the hairs of the brush that are starting to kind of wear down. And you just, you know, because these aren't natural, this is like made out of, I would say these brush fibres are made out of acrylic, I would have thought. And eventually over time this is going to wear down, or just the fact that you've been a bit rough, or maybe the product that you've been cleaning with has been too stringent. If you've been using, let me see. I've got some. This is a bad one. This is one that's doing that. I understand what you're talking about. I have other ones that literally have got worse, that are really bad, that I actually can't really use anymore. And I'll tell you what's caused it. It's been when I've had a bit of glue caught on the end or something, and then I've tried to actually clean it off and it doesn't clean off. Or when I've tried, I quite often use alcohol markers with my watercolour pens, and I'll mix different pens together, and it's when I've had them near the alcohol from my alcohol markers. So I don't know if that is what you've done, but that's what's happened to mine, and that's why they do it. So basically it's just at the end of its life. You can cut them. I have done it before, not really with very much success, but you can cut these hairs down. So if you just end up with some little strays, let me just put it onto there. You know, I've had it before where I've actually given it a bit of a haircut, and if I cut them off, people might be able to understand what we're talking about. Look at that. So but the only thing is, you don't get a smooth cut when you do that, so I don't really recommend you do it. But I did try once to do it so that I could shape the actual... I wanted a finer brush and I couldn't find one. I must have lost it or whatever, and so I decided to shape it down. But the only thing is that happens when you do that is that the water comes through the centre of the brush, so you do literally change the configuration of the brush. So I don't really recommend you do it, to be honest, because the water's now going to come flooding out of this. So this will be like a much bigger brush now that I've cut it down. You know, out of all the water brushes, I really recommend the Zig ones, which these are. I only use the Zig ones because of the valve in it. I've tried all of them, and for me, the Zig one is the best one. Obviously, you know, everybody's got their own opinion on it and like what they use, but and look, I've got... never mind. So I hope that's answered that question for you, and it was a good question, good valid question, thank you. Okay, Viv, I have not got any Zig pens. What could I use instead? I do have Kuretake Gansai. Let me just bring this comment in here. So I have the Kuretake Gansai watercolour paints. Could I use those instead? Yes, you could, absolutely. Just use them with a water brush or with, I absolutely love Gansai Tambi, one of my favourite pens. What else have we got? Zelly, she uses Distress Inks as well. Yeah, me too. Norma, I love that Digi. It's the first one I've bought. I love it too. Any more questions? Just give me a shout. Right, okay, let's crack on. God, time's getting on. Been on an hour already. Right, okay. So I want to, this is kind of dried back now. And she's looking very pale. So I want to kind of add a little bit more colour. So I am going to, I need to put that flesh colour away now, I think. And I'm going to use the oatmeal, actually. So I'm going to put the oatmeal on here now. And so what I'm going to do now is just, and I'm dipping my water in. I'm not pushing the water through the valve because it'll actually flood. There was a couple of, I think it was Jane said the other night that she, after watching me, she thought that maybe where she was going wrong with her watercolours was that she was actually using too much water, and that might be the case. But you do need to work quite quickly. So these are drying already. So, because it's warm. So just remember that if you're in a warm room, you know, it's going to dry really fast. So you need to work quite quick. I've messed that up really on that side because I wasn't going fast enough. But we'll go a bit darker still. And this is where having the better quality paper, because if you overwork it, you'll find, and some of you will probably have found, that you actually get, I call it pilling, where the paper actually pills off the top. So it's kind of when you're rubbing, when you're kind of going over and over and over the same area, you'll find that the paper will start, you'll get like little bobbles of paper coming off like you do on your jumpers and your knitwear. Look, I've got it on there. And I shouldn't have rubbed that then. But just to show you, this is okay because I'm going to make her look quite vintagey anyway. So, yeah, and it's because you're rubbing too much. So the lower quality paper you use, the more you're going to get that. So if you're finding that you get that a lot, then try going to a better grade of paper. With paper, you should always try buy the best you can. So the best you can afford, basically, is what I always say to everyone. Okay, so we've got a little bit more colour going on for her now. And then I've still got a little bit here of that light carmine. And you can see how little water I've actually been using. How little ink I've been using. So I'm just going to give her a little cheek. And ordinarily I say please don't colour a round cheek. But this is such a pale colour that I don't mind on this occasion. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of that carmine there. And then this time, I'm going to just dot that on. And because I've already coloured in that area now, it's already kind of bleeding itself out. So it's blending itself quite nicely without me really doing any work. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit more. Just want a little bit more colour in there. I want her to have some nice little rosy cheeks. I think cheeks are the one thing where you can just a little tiny pop of colour just in the centre. Just really looks cute. Like she's got a little flush and she's blushing. Just don't go over the top and just, you know, you just don't do that round and, you know, that round circle Aunt Sally thing, because it always just doesn't quite look great. Okay, so now I'm just got to colour her flowers. So there's little Easter eggs. This is tiny. I did actually print this image. That's the other thing. I printed this and I printed it on our laser printer at work because I couldn't actually find the stamp. But if you're printing the digi off at home, then obviously that's going to affect you if you're actually going to watercolour. I'm going to colour a flower. I want to do a yellow flower here. Like I said, excuse me for going over the edges, and I'm just going to do the centres of her flowers yellow over here. And then she's going to have a little, she's got a little basket in her hand. This is so cute, this image. I think this is one of my favourites. Although I think everyone is a favourite, I think. And then we've got a few leaves here. We're nearly done. And there's just a few in here. And don't attempt, this image here is so tiny, don't even attempt to try and colour that in. It's just, you don't need to. We'll just put some darker in there. And then, let's see, let me get an orangey colour. We'll just do the inside of this flower. Oops. And add a little bit of orange in here as well. Okay. Now, one thing. So, I want to show you this. So, look what's happened to her face. So, this is what I was saying about the tide mark here. So, I've added, this is from when I added the cheeks in. So, what I need to do now to get rid of this, because this is kind of like almost stained, what I'm going to do is dip my brush right into the water, make sure my brush is clean, then pick up some of that original flesh colour, but make sure it's really pale. And now I'm going to go back over the whole thing, but I need to go back over the whole entire face now to actually blend that out. And it's going to take a little bit of blending. And my paper's pilling now. It is actually pilling. But what I'm going to do as well, I just want a bit more oatmeal, because I've lost, now that I've blended that, I've lost some of the colour around the outer edge. I'm just going to go back and do that. And then I'm going to blast that off. Because I've put a lot of water in, look what's happening, it's bleeding out again. So we need to stop that bleeding really quickly. And you see how it's bled over here. And that's because I've been faffing. Okay, Sheila, so my marker pens are about finished. Right, hang on then. I'm going to let the girls answer this, I think. Right, okay, I'm going to add this question here. Okay. So let me just make that a little bit smaller so you can see what I'm doing. So Sheila wants recommendations for marker pens. Are you talking about alcohol markers or water-based markers, Sheila? I think you'd probably talk about alcohol markers. Right, okay. What I'm just going to do... Okay. Where I've been scrubbing her hair here, I've lost some detail. So I am going to just draw this in. Just going to draw this back in. I don't want to do it too much because it's going to look a bit fake, but that will just pull that back in. But I would, that's just like, what am I trying to say? A water-based pen. So don't, I've lost another colour now. Where's that gone? I'm looking for a grey. Where's it gone? Grey, grey, grey. This is the thing, they don't always look like they say on the tin. Well, it's not there. And it's not there. That's weird. Oh, how annoying. Okay, never mind. I've got a light grey. I'll have to use a different one. I'll have to do a different. So this is mid grey. Because my light greys have vanished. No, in fact, what I will do a different tack. Because we've been doing blue, I'm going to use, this is called blue grey. Which is actually a really nice colour. So I'm just going to wet this down. This colour. Okay, so I'm going to use this just to add, oh, it's a bit dark. Oh no. We'll see how I need to be careful here, so not to add too much. I went a bit mad there. Just want to add a little bit. Just to add just a little bit more definition in some of these areas, and just to go here under the chin, so it actually just hides that a little bit. I don't know whether it's going to, but I've just made that bleed out. I think I've lost my touch for colouring. Okay. No. Getting a bit of a line. Never mind. This is where you kind of, you know, we all make mistakes, don't we? And I've been faffing a bit really. I should have just left it and I was quite happy. So she is kind of looking quite vintagey, which is sort of the look that I was looking for anyway. So it's not a mistake for that look. It was just that I wanted my light grey. I don't know where that's gone. I haven't even moved off the table. So where that can be, I have no idea. It'll just be looking at me. But I just wanted to give her some shadows and stuff, but never mind. So I am going to put in some grass. Better say it properly or Louise will laugh at me. So I'm going to just flick. So I'm working. We want to ground her. So go up halfway up her feet, and that's going to be kind of like our horizon line. Oh, she's on a slope. Not there, Maz. Okay, and then all we're going to do, we're just going to flick. And anybody can do this. Anybody can be an artist and flick. And then what we'll do is we'll pick up a little bit of that blue. And that'll give us a bit more of a greeny blue going on. And then a bit more. And we'll now use this as a shadow around her feet. So we're just going to drag that. So where her foot is here, I still want to create that horizon line, and I want to follow that on the other side. And then that actually helps to ground it. And then where her feet actually touch the ground here at the front, I'm going to just pull that out so that she actually looks, and we'll pull a bit of this darker grey in there as well. We want a really nice dark shadow in there. And a little bit of that on that horizon line there, just where her feet are. Can you see how I'm dragging away from the image? Oops, I've gone a bit high there. And away from the image on the other side, just to make it match. If you want it a bit darker, just go a bit darker. It's up to you, it's your picture. Okay, so look how she's immediately grounded there. Okay, so I'm quite happy with her now. I think that's fine as she is. If I was going to do anything else, but I'm not going to because I have a feeling I might fluff it up today, is, you know, do the whole colouring around the outside edge just very gently maybe. In fact, we will. Let's do it. I want to... So I'm going to go with that. Let me see what colour that blues comes out. That blue. It's quite a dull blue, so I don't think I'll use that. It is actually called dull blue as well. So we're going to go back to this light blue. I'm going to use quite a lot, but I'm going to really water it down on the palette this time. And then I'm going to just come in and we're going to, I need to work really quick, and I'm actually not going to go all the way up to the edge because I don't want to bleed on her. And I'm doing it because we've already got blue in her costume, so actually it won't matter. If I wasn't live, I'd probably go a bit more into this, but I have a feeling that I might fluff it up because I'm kind of stopping and reading comments and not really concentrating on what I'm doing 100% as I would if I was on my own at home. But maybe a little bit more. See, this is the thing, I can't stop once I start. And we've got, there is a better blue. Where are we? Cobalt. So we'll get some cobalt, which is the next colour up. This is where it might get dangerous. Okay. We can just dot a little bit of this around. So I do still like my alcohol markers, but to be honest, I love watercolours more, and so I do use watercolour much more these days than alcohol markers, just because, you know, they're a little bit more forgiving, and you know, I just find they're a little bit quicker. I don't have huge swathes of time anymore to kind of be colouring. I wish I did. In fact, I've really enjoyed it this week, just sitting and colouring for a couple of hours. I don't not often get a chance to do that, so maybe I need to do it more. Okay, I'm going to stop because if I don't, I'm going to end up bleeding. Not physically bleeding, I'm going to end up with my image bleeding. Let me get rid of Sheila's comment on there. So did anyone have any suggestions for Sheila? Both, but mainly I love Copics. Lou still uses graphics. I've still got some, but I lost most of them in the fire. ProMarkers cheaper alternative. Yeah, ProMarkers are under, they're called something else now, aren't they? I can't remember what they're called now, just off the top of my head. So I'm just going to trim this down. I'm going to get that water out of the way, and we are actually going to make a just make a very, very simple brief card, just so we actually do make something. So let's just trim that off. And what I am going to do, because I have to, I can't not do it. I'm sorry, it's just my thing. I'm going to just edge this and, you know, just... If you can't do this, put your pen down and then look where you want it to go, and then that actually helps you to draw a straighter line. But just don't try and draw a straight line. Winsor & Newton, that's it, Lou. Thank you. And then if you stop, just put a little kiss in there. I'm going to put a little kiss in there. It can be whatever you want it to be. So, because I pilled my paper, she's got a bit of a mucky face, but never mind. So here's one actually that I made earlier. So you can see this was like a practice run, but you can see I've used like much softer colours on the one tonight, and actually I prefer it. I just prefer that sort of more vintagey look. This one I used the grey on, so maybe it's a good thing that I didn't use the grey anyway. And this, she just looks like a little bit vintagey, which is quite nice. So I've just got a little card here, and I was gonna use these papers, but then I kind of decided against it. But I do love this paper so much. I was kind of gonna do this, but then that would look really super cute. It would actually look really cute, wouldn't it? So pretty. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. This paper, by the way, is from this pack. Oh, I love this pack paper. This is from here. So this is lovely, and this again is a product that we released to our retailers. But we've just actually put this in the shop. So this is so nice. These little ditzy patterns, little stars. That's that gingham I've used. And then another one in there, really shabby chicy, just really scrummy. And there's another pack that matches that as well, that it goes with it, which is this one, which is again really, really super sweet. And the prints are all really nice and small on this, so not overbearing. I hate overbearing prints on a card. So I was going to use one of those, but then I'm kind of like a bit more into clean and simple. So what I wanted to do was also, this is the first time I've got to use this awesome die. So this is the Oval Trellis die. I absolutely love this die. It's this one. It's in stock now, so you can order this now. It's a great price. It's a decent sized die. It's actually, what have I done with my ruler? Oh, if you can see my desk, honestly. It is in inches, just under 4.5 inches by 3.5, which is 11.5 by 9.5 centimeters. So when you actually put it, this is an A6, which is similar to an A2 size card, and you can put it, there's two, it has a different top and bottom edge, so you can do it either way. I actually like it this way up, but how gorgeous is that? That's lovely. So what I'm going to do, I think, I don't want to waste the whole die, and I think what I'm going to do for a change is I'm kind of going to position it like this. And this is a bit big. I wanted to make it a bit smaller. Yeah, it does look like an Easter egg. That's kind of why I chose it, Bella Yvette saying it looks like an Easter egg. So I think, I don't normally slant my images, but I think I might do it this time. And then the other thing that I pulled out as well, because I haven't had chance, do you know, you guys, you get all this stuff that we make, and I never get a chance to play with any of it. By the time I get round to it, it's old, and half the time it's out of stock. We've also got these lovely flowers, this lovely flower die, which is back in stock. Not back in stock, sorry, this is brand new. And you're getting 6 flowers here, which are these beauties, which are just so pretty. These are really good price on these as well. So you get 3 of these lacy ones, 3 different sizes, small, medium, large, and then you get 3 of the solid ones as well. So they all kind of match and you can layer, but that's really pretty die. And then the other one, just while I'm talking about those, is this one, Super Sprig. Now, Super Sprig, this is back in stock. This has been our top selling die. I can't tell you how many times we actually have reordered this from our factory. It's really affordable die, and actually you get 2 pieces. It's one die, but you get 2 pieces. And this is fantastically versatile. You can, it's just great dye. It works for anything. You can make trees, you can, it's great for if I just put that there, look, it's great as a base for a flower. You can put it that way so it's branches, it can be grass, it can, you know, you can make it hang down that way. It's great at making wreaths and bunches of flowers. You know, like if you look there, if you did this, oh look, why didn't I think about doing this before? How cute's that? A little bunch of flowers even, because it makes all the stems for the bunches. It is so versatile. And we actually discontinued it, but we kept getting asked and asked, so we've brought it back for you. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to just put a couple of flowers on this. So let's get some glue going. I'm actually going to make something for a change. So with this, I'm going to be really mean. And where's the scissors? Waste not, want not, and all that. So I'm going to cut through this, and then I've got another bit for another day. Decide where I want it to go. Let's put it there. In fact, I'm going to glue this down first. And I'm using just glue that that gives me a little bit of time to move it around. So let's just put a little bit. A little bit in here. Oh, I just love that dye. Okay, and then we'll have a nice little flower down here. Oops. And we'll put a little, let's put one there, two in that. Oh, it's poking off the edge too much. Let's put it there. Oh no, I've got a different, I know, I've just remembered what I was going to do. Sorry, I don't want that one. I'm talking to myself now. Sorry, I just had a little plan that I was going to do something cute. Okay, and I've just kind of embossed these just to raise them up a little bit. And you could put a little, if you want, you can put another one in there in the centre if you wanted. But I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it as that. Now, one other thing I wanted to do. Okay, we do have some really lovely tag dies, but I've forgotten to bring them with me. So I'm going to just make my own little tag. So, or a little banner even. So let me just put that to one side while it just dries a second. So, although we've got smile on here, I kind of wanted white on white. Yeah, you can't go wrong with white on white, Jen. I agree. Let me just see where you are with the comments. Okay, so, sorry, I was just reading the comments there. So we have this set of sentiments, super sentiments, which I just love. These sentiments are part of our, oh, I can't remember the name of it now. It's like a little range that we're doing. So they all intermatch. So these will always be sized together. So there's going to be lots and lots of these. And you literally get 49 stamps in this set. So this set is as big as an A2 card or an A6 card if you're in the UK. And you get all these words that all work together to make sentiments. So you can do all sorts with these. So we can have sending, spring, summer, autumn, winter wishes, happy birthday with love. And you can make these great big massive sentences as well. So these are great for decorating the inside of your cards as well. Now, because of the time that we're in and everything, I was sort of thinking, well, who would I actually be making a card for right now? And what sort of sentiment would it be? And I thought, well, you know, obviously times are quite tough for some people. And this week there's been quite a few people on my Facebook that I wouldn't say I'm friends with, but people that I know that have lost people this week, which is really sad. And so what I'm actually, I thought I'm going to do a little tag to add on here. So it's kind of like I'm thinking of you kind of tag, if you like. So I've got here thinking of you, and I didn't get my ink pad out, just bear with me a second. So have you seen these lovely blocks? Look at these are awesome. These are our new acrylic blocks. These are so great to use. I love these. They're going to replace all of my square ones. I mean, I'll still have to use squares, I think, but I absolutely love these circles. They're in stock as well at the minute. They're new. So I'm just going to stamp this. So I've put thinking of you. So I'm going to just put that there. And then this set is so good that there's all these little tiny all these extra bits and pieces. So I've got at this, and this font I've purposely picked because it's very forgiving font. And what you need to do, oh, I'm off screen, sorry. What you kind of need to do, if you haven't got a block that's got a grid on it, just line them up under the stamp, and it's about the right spacing for you then. So I'm thinking of you at this time, and then I'm going to pinch the off. Now it could be anything. Thinking of you at this time of, I don't know, you might have other sentiments in there, but we've got lots sort of in the pipeline to come. But I just, on this set, I just felt like this was quite a nice message. So thinking of you at this time, it could be sadness, but I'm going to put of hope. So thinking of you at this time of hope. I don't know if that is a right thing to say. I'm not sure, but I quite liked it, because maybe somebody's got somebody in hospital that they're very seriously ill or whatever, and that it's you know, we're hoping that they're going to recover. I just felt like it was quite a nice little sentiment. I don't know why it came in my head. I don't know. Maybe it's completely inappropriate. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to line around there again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that in that top corner. And that's why I didn't want to glue that down. Bye, Sheila. Thanks for joining us. See you next time, hopefully. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that into that corner there. So unfortunately it's covering up my Easter egg die. Oh, get on your nebulizer. Mr. Doodles has asthma, so I totally empathise with you. Right, okay, and then we're just going to put another flower on here. Wow, this has gone on way longer than I thought it was going to. I'm surprised this thing hasn't cut off. I've been on so long. You know me, I can't condense. I'm not very good at that. And then I think we just need one flower just in that corner, because it's annoying me, oops, that we're not in a 3. And that's it. I'm not going to do anymore. Okay, what do you think? Is that cute? Just really sweet. And if you wanted to, you could just outline around the black edge as well, which maybe that's what we'll do. Someone's just asked me what pen it is. It's actually a Letraset, just a fine line drawing pen. To be honest, I've got loads of these kind of pens. I use Stabilo, Bics, you know, to be honest, whatever I get my hands on, but I like the Micron pens, you know, are great, but I do find those quite expensive, to be honest. Whereas this is probably just one that I've had for years from my Letraset days. I just pick them up whenever I see one, anywhere I go, I pick them up, because the things that I just like a lot of There's all different widths and gauges. So there you go, little Winnie having a smile there. So really cute. Just knocking out. So that's it. So I hope you like that. Oh, wow, that was a mammoth session. Wowza. Okay, that's me done. So let me hold it up for you this way. Oh, out of sight, that's better. Block me out. But yeah, super cute. So if you have left comment, I'll actually send this to somebody. So I'll pick someone randomly and I'll send it to you and message you for your address. Not sure when you'll get it. The post at the moment is pretty okay. But thank you for joining me. Thanks for all your questions. It's been lovely. I've really enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to the next one. I can't remember is it Sunday the next one? Can't remember. I'm sorry if it's dragged on a bit. An hour and a half to make a little tiny card like that, but never mind. We've had a bit of a chat, haven't we, whilst we were here. So I don't know what I'm doing yet on Sunday, but we'll do something different. So I think we'll go a little bit more stampy, a little bit more flowery maybe, and a bit more mixed media perhaps. Depends what mood I'm in on the day and how much it goes wrong. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. So I'm going to be doing these regularly at 7 o'clock. I've put the dates in the group, so the dates are all there for you. I hope you'll join me next time. But anyway, thanks so much. It's been lovely. And Lou's doing Facebook Lives, and so is Angie Hunt as well. So if you're not in the LDRS Creative group, pop over to Angie's group. She has some awesome products in there, and you can also get polka doodles in LDRS Creative as well. So Angie has products that we don't have here that I've designed for her, especially for our American friends. But Angie ships worldwide, so it's not just all about HSN. So make sure you visit her as well. And obviously, you know, at the moment things are tough for retailers, but a lot of retailers are still open online like we are. So, you know, please support all your local retailers. You know, a lot of them are still shipping and are really relying on it, as well as we are as well. So thank you so much for your support. It means the world. I can't thank you enough. And all I've really got to say is please stay safe. You know, we're all in this together and it's awful. So I really hope that we all get through this in one piece, but please stay safe. And I will see you, I think it's is it Sunday? I think it might be Sunday. Or is it Wednesday? I don't know, I can't remember. I'll see you next time anyway. Thank you so much. It's been such a joy. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.